everyone, and welcome back to The Swamp. The Swamp is an acronym for...
Some whack-ass movie podcasting.
My name is Dara. Ooh, okay. You just stuck on my toes. Go ahead. No. I didn't have anything to follow it up with. I don't know. Can you say your name, your major, and a fun fact about yourself, please?
My name's Emily. I'm a performing arts management major, and my fun fact is that I have a podcast with my good friend Dara here.
Oh my god, that is such a fun fact. I recently have made the decision to go to grad school, but I really like to play down my own accomplishments. So when people ask me questions about it, I tell them that it's to promote my podcast. To further my podcasting career. Yeah, which really upsets my grandparents because they're like, I don't know what that means. You do the radio? And I'm like, yeah, sure.
Would listening to this podcast kill one of your grandparents on site, yes or no?
Yeah, probably. My cousin was texting me the other day and she was in the car with our grandma and she was like, oh yeah, like... there's just tension, it's awkward. I was like, put on my pod. I was like, throw on the pod and just spice things up with Nana. And she was like, oh yeah, the one where you talk about how badly you want to fuck Sigourney Weaver? And I was like, yeah, honestly, run it. And needless to say, she did not do that. But
like, have grandma play Fuck, Marry, Kill.
I know, right? I felt bad making my mom do it for that episode she was on, and I like, talked to her before. I'm like, hey, are you gonna be cool with this? And she was like, I'm cool. Like, I can get down.
I can hang. But don't worry about me.
But she, like, she didn't say the word fuck. She was like, F. She's like, I'll F Thor, which is valid. Yeah. Valid choices from Jen. But anyways, if you are new here, welcome. I'm Dara. I'm here with Emily. We already said that. We are The Swamp. We're a movie podcast. We talk about movies. That's the premise. That is the premise of this show. And we're really glad that you are here. If you're here from TikTok, that's pretty cool. Well, I didn't know a darn thing about the TikTok, and now every day my phone is blowing up with people telling me their personal experience with deer ticks.
Yep, so, all the time.
So I love it. We love to see it. Today, well, actually this whole month, we are going to be focusing on one of film's greatest performers, I think, ever. And
yeah, critically underrated.
Right, and I think underrated by, like, the population. I don't know. I don't remember specifically how it definitely slept on. I don't remember how it came up, but I think, like, I overheard a conversation where people were talking about, like, the best actors ever, and you, like, think of, like, the really big names.
It's like, Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, Al Pacino.
Like, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Whatever. And then in the back of my head, I was like, would anyone say Ewan McGregor?
Probably not, but I would.
Not, but I feel like I kind of would. And so... in the spirit of a good pun, this month is May. Ewan MAYgregor doesn't really... It's not that good, but...
I think it's pretty good.
We're gonna roll with it. This also... so this is coming out May 5th, so yesterday will have been May 4th. And obviously we will be doing another Star Wars installment featuring our boy Ewan. Also
featuring our resident Star Wars fan,
Henry, who is not... He's in Florida right now, and I really miss him. And I have to pick him up at the airport tomorrow, and I'm really scared because the airport is scary.
Horrifying.
And I am not a good driver either. You know how you're not allowed to park at the airport, which is weird. You
just end up going around in circles.
You have to drive in circles until your person is ready, and that doesn't sit right with me.
It's like, what if I get lost?
But it's like a circle, but are you gonna pay for my gas?
Nope.
Logan?
No thing.
Anyways.
They should have a thing that's just free gas at the airport, but also...
But anyways, we probably should have done Star Wars today for May the 4th, but Henry's not around, so we picked another Ewan McGregor fucking banger. Moulin Rouge.
And you had never seen this before.
Oh my god, no, I had never seen it. I had little to no expectation. Basically, I had the cover of that Elton John song.
It's so good.
I had that, like, saved, like, in my music library just because it was a bop and I liked it. And I knew vaguely it was, like, jukebox musical, like, that they were gonna sing songs or whatever. But other than that, I was like, I don't really know what this is about. 2001, Nicole Kidman in a wig. And, oh my god, I loved it. It was so fun. I don't know if I loved it because I like drank a whole bottle of wine by myself, so I was really feeling it. But I thought this movie was so great, and I especially think Ewan McGregor was so good.
He was so cute.
Right? Oh my god, I'm like, I would die for him. In basically every movie I would die for Ewan McGregor, and in real life as well, but actually I don't really know anything about him like as a guy.
He's a bit
Is he weird?
No, he's been a bit controversial. Like, I know people don't love him because it was like a couple of years ago he got a divorce from his wife, and then it came out that he was like having an affair.
Okay, well that happens to like
yeah,
most
exactly.
people.
So people are like, "Fuck Ewan McGregor," and I'm like, you know how many people cheat?
Yeah, that's like everyone in Hollywood.
I just think he's a really good actor.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to condone the behavior of men, but I will just say that, he's a great actor, and I think he was underrated, so we decided to dedicate this whole freaking month to him. So, shout out to you, Ewan McGregor, if you want to hit us up.
Yeah.
If you want to come be on the pod, you can clear the air about this whole divorce situation. Honestly, I'd fuck Ewan McGregor even if he was married.
You'd be the other woman?
Yeah, I would do it. I'd be okay with that. Would you? No, probably not. I think you're morally above it. You think you're better than me?
I'd give him a little kiss. A
little smoochy. Then I'd cough into a rag and there would be blood on it.
I love that. I had that in my notes. I was like, anytime anyone ever has like lung disease or like cancer, what she have, TB?
Yeah, tuberculosis. Yeah, they called it consumption.
I had no idea what that was.
It just means like you're being consumed by a disease, like you have a disease and you're gonna die. But then for some reason she wasn't aware that she was gonna die. But I'm like, girl, you're coughing blood into a rag. That is the cinematic telltale sign of an impending death.
To be fair, I kind of relate to her on that one, just because I would also just avoid it and not think about it.
It's like a big reveal. They're like, hey, you know you're gonna die, right? And she was like, oh. And I was like, come on. You can barely stand.
Were you that blindsided? Like...
But for anyone who hasn't seen this movie, if you're, just here for a fun time, I guess, it's about Ewan McGregor. It plays a character named Christian, who's a writer.
Yeah, he came over from England.
Yeah, and he his parents had like money, right? Like, and they were like, we don't support your writing, and he was like, I'm gonna go be a bohemian revolutionary, and he stumbles across this group of bohemian revolutionaries, whatever the fuck that means, and they're like, hey, do you want to join our improv troupe where we are putting on a show called Spectacular? And he was like, this sounds great, and he just off the dome comes up with the sound of music. And they're like, this guy has it. And they're like, and he's a cutie patootie, so let's get him in to seduce the local hottie, Nicole Kidman, and get her to be in the show. And she also works at the Moulin Rouge, which is the
club.
Like, like the dance hall, I guess. And so they were like, we can do it there. And so this happens, but they convince Nicole Kidman, who her character's name is Satine. They convince Satine that Ewan McGregor is a duke, and that he's gonna like fund their
entire production.
So she's like really into it, but then the whole kerfuffle, the Duke kerfuffle, gets revealed to her. Yeah. She's like,
there's an actual Duke.
She's like, ugh, you're poor. She's like, and so then he just says a couple of lines of Elton John to her, and she's like, holy fuck, am I in love with you? And she's like, okay, I don't care that you're poor, but you can sing Elton John real good, so we're just gonna make this work. But then the real Duke, she has to entertain him as a lover as well, because they need that money. And the Duke's like, what's going on here? And they're like, we're coming up with a production. And so Ewan McGregor basically comes up with a play, which is a reflection of what is actually happening, where this woman is kind of torn between a financially stable life and true love. Yeah. But also Nicole Kidman has fucking tuberculosis, which is an airborne disease. Everyone who comes with it, everyone's like brushing cheeks with each other and kissing and fucking. You're all gonna get TB. You're all gonna fucking get tuberculosis and die, Ewan McGregor. You should not be worried about your production. You should be worrying about your health. I really could not. I could not with this medical drama. But anyways, that's the plot of Moulin Rouge. It's really good. There's a lot of singing and dancing and tomfoolery and rompery. It's a good time.
It's a great way to put it.
And I would say my favorite part about the movie was the costumes, for sure.
I thought they were outstanding. I want to know who did the costumes.
Right, I was reading a little bit about it, and it did win the Oscar for Best Costumes, which, like, as it should. But at one point, there were, like, over, like, 100 people, like, on the team for just the costumes, which is, like, I guess insane for a movie. And also the, that necklace that she wear, like, the fancy necklace that the Duke is like, you can have this. And then he's like, no, you can't. He rips it off of her, but then she, like, wears it during the show, weirdly. It was all real diamonds and, like, platinum and stuff, and it was the most expensive piece of jewelry ever specifically made for a movie. So it was like over $1 million.
Just why for Moulin Rouge?
Nicole Kidman has a beautiful neck. And she just deserves the best.
They casted her just strictly based on that. Not for her hair or anything, because she wore a wig in this.
So that's what immediately I was like, I know I'm gonna love this movie, because anytime Nicole Kidman shows up wearing a wig that basically just looks like her natural hair, I know it's gonna be great. Big Little Lies.
Outstanding.
Oh my god, that like strawberry blonde wig with the bangs. I'm like, girl, you're gonna kill it. And she does. But yeah, this movie, again, just like a wig that is an exact replica of her actual hair. I enjoyed it a lot, though. I think it was like visually very fun, even though sometimes the storyline was kind of like, ugh, okay.
Yeah.
This is pretty straightforward and basic, and there were not a lot of twisting and turning.
Yeah.
But there were fucking huge dance numbers, so that was good.
What would you say was your favorite song that they did throughout this entire thing?
Oh my god, okay.
Because I've got some strong feelings about a couple.
Yeah. It's so hard to pick. I would say, like, for cinematic impact, the Roxanne number was so good. But I did love the very first, like, big song and dance number at the Moulin Rouge, where they did Lady Marmalade mixed with good. Smells Like Teen Spirit, immediately shifting into Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend, paired with Material Girl. Oh my god, and they were just like, brr, 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 different songs on top of each other. And I think that really, I was like, oh, this movie's gonna be fun. And I just think, like, the big production dance number of all the girls in the can-can skirts, and Nicole Kidman's on a trapeze. I really liked that one. So I would say that first one was my favorite. Yeah. But as somebody who had your song sung by Ewan McGregor already saved to my phone pre-watching this, I think that's just a good song, because Elton John is just good, and Ewan McGregor is just good. But
which I didn't know he could sing that well.
Me either, right?
He's really good.
I feel like he doesn't do it a lot. I feel like he's not really in a lot of musicals, right? He was in the new Beauty and the Beast, like, remake, which I don't even know if he
played
actually
a candlestick.
Yeah, I don't know if he actually sang in that or not.
He kind of did, but he had like a French.
But this one, he's like he's like singing for like 90% of the movie. Yeah, he's really good. Pleasantly surprised by little Yui.
Yeah, I really liked when what's his name, Ziedler.
Yeah,
he did Madonna's Like a Virgin.
Oh, so good. He was like wrapping a curtain around himself. Yeah, that one was really good.
I just thought it was really funny.
Actually, for that one, they used, because I wanted to know who in this movie was actually singing or not, and I guess he sung, but then they had an opera singer like dub in certain parts, so it would be very like grandiose. So it is actually mostly these people are singing for the most part, but I guess that one specifically they got like opera help, which I think really paid off.
Smart. Yeah, no. Apparently Nicole Kidman really didn't like her maybe not her performance, but her singing in this.
Oh,
which
really?
is, I mean, I read that somewhere, but
I think she sounded fine.
I think she sounded
I wasn't bothered, especially in a movie where you're singing like most of the dialogue. I could see how you'd be like, well, I have to nail it all the time.
Well, it's like us listening to ourselves back on the podcast.
I hate it. It's like, I'm like kind of nasally and obnoxious, and you kind of like dip into like vocal fry. And I'm like, as two people with kind of like not very listenable voices, we just picked the wrong thing to get into. But
no one would ever put us on radio.
But the more I listen to it, the less I'm bothered by it, to be honest, because I'm like, okay, well, if I'm
desensitized.
if I'm just like constantly judging myself, which like I'm already doing that already, so like why add another thing, you know? I thought all the singing in this movie was pretty good for the most part. I was not bothered, because it's like, you know when Les Mis, when Russell Crowe,
I was gonna say what you mean and just say Russell Crowe.
When Russell Crowe rolls up to the function, Prisoner 24601, I'm like, oh no. Oh, Russell. They really did him dirty there, especially where everyone else is just, because, you know, if you're not bringing it, especially in like this movie, if Nicole Kidman really like couldn't sing that good, it would be like, oh, sore thumb sticking out, but she was fine.
Have you ever met those people that like really stan Russell Crowe in that movie? Mike Frio?
Yeah.
I'm gonna call him out publicly now.
Yeah, we all watched it at your house that one time, and I got attacked. I got verbally attacked for being anti-Russell Crowe.
Michael was the only one that was pro-Russell Crowe.
But he was so aggressively pro-Russell Crowe that I was like, where is this coming from? You pick somebody else to stan. Be a Hugh Jackman stan. Right. Pick literally anyone else in the movie.
Amanda Seyfried was hitting notes that like dogs couldn't even hear.
Eddie Redmayne, for some reason, his face didn't bother me as much as it usually does in that movie.
Do you hate Eddie Redmayne?
I don't hate Eddie Redmayne, but there's something about his face that I just don't enjoy.
I really didn't like him. Performance-wise, I liked him in Trial of the Chicago 7.
Me too.
But hearing him do an American accent felt so wrong.
Oh, it's so bad. And also there's just the whole issue of like the Danish girl, like, ugh.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's not. Let's not with that, Eddie.
Yeah. No. Alicia Vikander in that one was really good though. I think she won the Oscar for it.
Yeah, I know he was nominated. Maybe did he win as well?
No, he won for like 2 years before when he did The Theory of Everything.
Yeah. Okay.
Which was outstanding.
Yeah, if he won any awards for the Danish girl, that would just be
controversial.
Yeah,
bad.
Not good. I don't agree with that. But
we're not here to talk about the Danish girl.
Back to Moulin Rouge. I'm just glad Eddie Redmayne wasn't in this movie. I just don't think he could have done it. I don't think he could have carried that boyish charm that Ewan really brings to the table.
Disney has him by the balls now for, what is it, that Harry Potter series, so he can't do anything else.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I thought you were going to say, Ewan McGregor, they're making a Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show. I am gonna nut so hard. I'm gonna nut harder than Nicole Kidman was pretending to nut during... So, like, I think the funniest scene in the movie is that Ewan McGregor thinks he's doing an audition with Nicole Kidman, and he's like, let's read some poetry, and she thinks it's a euphemism for, like, fucking, and so she's like, oh, okay, like, we can read poetry, but then she's, like, on the bed, like, fully prepped and ready to go, and he's
she
like...
might as well have been, like, spread eagle,
yeah,
just waiting.
And he's like, no, he's like, let me... off the dome, just come up with some Elton John lyrics. Yeah. And she's like, oh, so it's like a fetish thing. So she pretends to just like be really into it and like orgasm on the ground while he's like, and he's confused. The whole thing is really funny. And she's just rolling on the ground, like touching herself, pretending to just have the time of her life. And he's like, no, I'm just trying to read you some poetry, girlfriend.
To be fair, I would genuinely be turned on if Elton John was reciting Elton John.
If he was in my presence. Honestly.
Did I say Elton John or did I say you? Anyways.
Usually I have a pretty big problem. Usually I have a pretty big problem in movies where two characters, after knowing each other for a very short amount of time, are like, I am so in love with you and I would die for you. Yeah. And yet, I was unbothered this whole movie. They meet and he sings some Elton John and I'm like, I get it. Yeah. I too would risk it all for Ewan McGregor.
He nailed the song. Like, come on.
I mean, he comes up to the top of the roof of that elephant to sing to her again. And she's
under
like...
the stars.
Right, she's like, I don't know about love. And he's like, no, I'm gonna prove it to you. And I'm like, yeah. You did. You did that. Because usually I'm like...
that assignment.
I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, okay, you're gonna, like, risk it all for this person you've known for 2 weeks, like, Edward Cullen type beat. Yeah. But, like, no, I felt it here. I was on board with them, like, risking it all for their love. Which is another thing that, like, also happens in movies that I don't understand why people can't just have adult conversations with each other.
Never.
Like, she's so coy the whole time about having to entertain the Duke on the side in order to maintain the funds for the production. And he's like, I don't like that. I don't like that you're doing that. She's like, well, that's kind of my job. And also, like, I'm here, like, I'm with you, and we're in love. But
and
then,
he's like, no.
Then the Duke is like, I'm gonna send hitmen out for Ewan McGregor if you don't stop hanging out with him. Which I'm like, okay, way to, like, suck? I don't know. Like, you're basically, like, gonna hold her fucking hostage, and you think that's gonna be a fun time for everyone, but I guess he's just the antagonist, and it's a very rompy, dramatic movie, but then she's like, okay, well, I have to fake, like, break up with Ewan McGregor so he can leave, and she just does it. She pretends to, she, like, basically breaks his heart. Like, you can't be like, hey, you're gonna get murdered.
Right? Like, why would you not just say that?
If we keep kissing in public, somebody's gonna kill you. And he could be like, okay, we could work this out. But no, she's like, this just isn't gonna work anymore.
I don't love you.
And I'm like,
it's like, Nicole,
just tell him the truth. He can handle it. I just, that
a high school relationship could do this. Like.
Yeah, right. People with the most minimal communication skills could probably have navigated this situation with more grace than Satine and Christian.
Yeah. Which, I just want to know why she was so easily, like, controlled by Ziedler. Like, I get it, he's your boss, I guess, but, like, she really is just kind of an idiot.
Yeah, she just kind of does whatever people tell her, and she, like, wants to be an actress, but she's, so the word they use is courgette? Is that the word they use?
That's the word for eggplant.
Oh. I also kept saying, like, cornichon, like, those little pickles. I don't know. They use some word which basically means, like, sex worker.
Yeah.
But there are times where she is, like, ready for it, where she's, like, about to fuck Ewan McGregor because she thinks that he's a duke, basically. Yeah. And then there are other times where she's like, oh no, like, I couldn't tell whether it was one of those, like, she just gives them company. Yeah. Because, like, the big buildup was that she was gonna have to sleep with the Duke on opening night. Yeah. And I'm like, but if this is your job, wouldn't this just be happening the whole time? I don't know, not to look too deep into it, but I just was, like, confused about, what her job is, I guess she's, like, she's the star of the Moulin Rouge. She does the big dance numbers, and people come to see her because she's what they call her, like, the prized diamond or something like that. But yeah, she really seems to be, like, locked down in a fucking contract, in a blood oath with Ziedler. Because,
like, the fact that he doesn't tell her she has TB is so fucked up. Like, not only is it like he doesn't say anything, no one says anything. Everyone knows she's been passing out for, like, probably months. Like, this isn't the first time. They revive her with smelling salts each freaking time. And for some reason,
here, do a little cocaine, just a little bit of cocaine, perk you right back up for the second act. But I guess also
no one's thought to be like, hey, you remember how you passed out, like, all the time?
She said something about it, like, being the corsets. And she's really sweaty all the time. Like,
you can see it on her upper lip.
Yeah, like, she's dewy. She's dewy at best this whole film. And I'm like, does TB really make you that sweaty? And also, I don't think, they don't know what TB is, they just know that she's really sick. But
are we sure that it's TB?
I think so. But also, I think it also might be implied, though, that she has a weakened immune system from HIV. Oh. Like, that she probably has contracted, like, STI, like, you know, has a weakened immune system from sexually transmitted, and therefore, like, pneumonia would kill her, you know? Yeah. So I'm pretty sure it's TB. But this is the year 1900?
Yes.
Medicine exists a little bit. Like, I feel
like it's at, like, the bare minimum right now.
But come on, you don't know
if they've got smelling salts, they've got something.
You don't know about airborne communicable diseases?
Probably not. They're too busy having a good time.
Oh, I was kind of jealous, though. Like, the vibes in this okay. I'm just gonna say this, and I don't know if this...
It is TB.
Yeah, see, I knew it.
Everyone should be dead.
Right. I'm thinking from coronavirus perspectives, there's 600 people packed into a tight room, fucking rubbing up on each other.
If she's...
Everyone has TB. You don't get booster shots in 1903. You don't have a primary care physician. Like, tetanus?
I don't think tetanus is the thing they'd be worried about.
I don't know. It looked kind of rusty, but the vibes were unmatched at the Moulin Rouge.
I would love to go to the Moulin Rouge.
Post pandemic, I am showing up to every social function in a hoop skirt and a fucking corset with a mole drawn on my face and my hair in a coiffed Marie Antoinette updo, and I'm just gonna flash everyone my little ruffly panties, and I will be taking no criticisms at this time. I'm just gonna, show up to the McDonald's dressed like fucking Moulin Rouge can dancers. Can we bring that back? Can we all go out to the clubs in hoop skirts and do the can and fucking lift my little skirt and flash it around to men in top hats, and we're all... The part that really killed me is that they're doing this big musical number, right? And Nicole Kidman comes down in a trapeze, and then she, like, picks Ewan McGregor out of the crowd, but basically because she's been told that he's like the wealthy duke. And she picks him out of the crowd and brings him out onto the dance floor, and he's just kind of standing there. And everyone in the crowd is like, wow, what a great dancer. He's such a handsome young man. What a great... And he's literally just standing there while Nicole Kidman dances circles around him. Let's be honest about who's a good dancer here.
He's doing the bare minimum. But getting all the credit for the woman's work.
But the outfit, so Nicole Kidman does a RuPaul's Drag Race finale reveal during this dance number where she's in a little outfit, and then everybody like lifts up their skirts to create a tent around her, and then she like changes into a different outfit, which was...
We love women supporting women.
Oh my god, and it was so good. But the outfit that she like takes down her hair, and this is the outfit that she passes out after being like lifted into the air, but she's in this like peachy skin colored tight fucking bodice with ostrich feather train coming out the back. Her tits are pushed up to her neck. Oh my god, she looked so good. That outfit alone, I was like, this movie had to have won for best costume, because that fucking outfit, I swear to god, I would never have body dysmorphia again if I could just wear that outfit once. I would feel so good about myself. I would go to the grocery store in that outfit. She looked so good. The rest of the costuming in the movie is really great, but that specific one look, I was knocked out by.
Yeah, that was like have you heard, I feel like it's Variety or one of the big fucking publishers said like, oh, Keira Knightley's green dress from Atonement is the best costume in a movie ever. And I'm like, I don't think so.
Like, okay.
It's really good.
You could say it's like an iconic.
Yeah.
But
I think Nicole's dress bodies that one.
Right? Or even, I don't know, just, I feel like you gotta appreciate Keira Knightley in fucking Pirates of the Caribbean, where she's in her fucking sexy pirate outfit turning me into a lesbian.
No, I was gonna say that was one of those things, like, as a kid.
Oh, okay.
I was like, oh, maybe I'm gay.
Right? We can go through a series of historical Keira Knightley pieces in which the outfits are just as good as her green dress in Atonement. I guess just because it's green, people can be like, oh, symbolism. I
mean, it's lovely. I would have taken it home after filming, but...
I bet it's like in a museum. Is there a museum? Is there a museum full of like movie costumes? That would be...
Oh, definitely.
That would be so 100%. Cool. I remember I saw in DC at the African American History Museum, they had a bunch of outfits from The Color Purple. Oh, it was sick. Really cool, yeah. And they had the movie playing like on a big screen. I don't know. It was very cool. Anyways... Moulin Rouge, costuming, really great. It also won for art direction at the Oscars. It was also nominated for a Best Picture. And
what did it lose to?
It was, 2001 Oscars. Nicole Kidman was also nominated for Best Actress, but she did not win.
That feels like a stretch.
Yeah,
she wasn't amazing in this.
She was
I don't think anyone was... No one was outstanding. It was a great movie for a lot of reasons, but I wouldn't say the performances were insane. I wouldn't say I was underwhelmed, but like it just did its job, and that was it.
Best Picture, A Beautiful Mind. Do you remember when they made us watch that in health class?
Did they?
Yeah, we had to watch A Beautiful Mind in health class.
I sat right behind you in health class.
Yeah, I don't
remember this at all.
Oh, I remember. So they made us watch a movie in health class where there were people all dressed in white and they were supposed to be sperms and they like had to race through the mountains to get to the egg.
I remember that.
And they were like murdering each other and like trying to climb up this spiral staircase to get to the fallopian tubes. And it was just like, it was the most visually artful, masterful representation of the birthing, spermalizing of the eggs. It really stuck with me. That was fucking weird as shit. But then they also made us watch A Beautiful Mind because they were like, sometimes people get schizophrenia and they are really good at math.
How did I not remember this? I feel like I wasn't there for that.
Oh my god. Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Rings didn't win.
That's fucked.
Even, like, Moulin Rouge is fine, but fucking I know the third Lord of the Rings won all the Oscars as kind of a representation for the series as a whole, but number one?
Yeah, really.
Anyways. I would say that we would do Lord of the Rings someday, but honestly, I don't think I'm smart enough to provide insightful intakes. I'm just gonna talk about how I want to fuck everyone. Everyone in that movie is so hot.
That would be a great one to do fuck, marry, kill for.
You would have to break it down by, like, species. Because I just can't pick. I just can't. You'd be like, which elf? And I would still have a hard time.
I've never seen the full series.
Oh,
it's kind of fucked up. Put
really
myself on blast.
It's really good. It's long.
Like, I feel bad for you.
if you're, like, not a person who wants to watch a movie longer than 3 hours.
They're 3 hours?
They're like 3 hours each, and then there's 3 of them. And I like to dedicate a day, like maybe every 6 months, where I will watch the full series. I'll like a nice long weekend or something. Yeah, like a little spacing in between them. But I love a good Lord of the Rings marathon. I think this movie would be fun. I mean, usually at the end we talk about what you'd follow it up with, but like a musical. I don't know, like maybe not just musicals, but like this specific kind of vibe of musical. I feel like you could really easily pick a bunch of movies and put them all together. I was looking at what people had added this to for their lists on Letterboxd.
Oh, nice.
And it was on a couple of people's like LGBT films. And I was like trying to look into it.
No one's gay, but it feels gay.
Right? I was like, I don't think that there's anybody gay in this movie explicitly at all. So then I was like Googling it and I was looking into it. I was like, is this a piece of gay cinema? And they were like, everything's just glittery and they're singing. And I'm like, so no. Like, it feels good, but you can't call it that. I wish if Ewan McGregor had, you know, the guy who's like the head of the Bohemian troupe, the short one?
Yeah.
I wish they were together. Because he was invested. He was there for the art. He was like a tall person and they made him just like get on his knees. Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, they probably could have just actually gotten an actor who looked like that, but no.
Get down on the ground right now.
This needs to be quirky and bohemian, so you need to have a disability. Also, Nicole Kidman broke a bunch of her ribs while rehearsing one of these dance numbers, so for the second half of the movie, most of the time where she's like seen as a full body shot, oh, come on in, Jen. She was actually, it was a body double, and they did just most of her, like, close-up shots.
How did she break her ribs?
Dancing too hard.
Jesus.
She was too committed. So Jen is here, and she's going to do some chocolate and vanilla with us. She's very excited to prepare this segment for a couple of episodes. A couple people, like, reached out and responded and were like, oh, that's so fun. I decided to play that in the car, which is, like, that's the way you're supposed to do it. It's like a long car ride. You're just like, what do you like better? Blue or green? Let's talk about it, you know? So Jen's here. Say hi.
I'm always excited for a chocolate and vanilla. Hi. Also, we have 2 pots of coffee upstairs, vanilla and hazelnut. You guys want a cup of coffee?
Yeah, I would love a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Vanilla or hazelnut?
Surprise me. Half and half.
Ooh.
Yeah. And mix them together.
And just almond milk?
Just a splash of almond milk.
How about you?
Doesn't matter to me, either or.
What kind of milk do you like?
Almond milk's cool.
Okay. All right. Okay, you ready?
You don't put oat milk in your coffee?
I'm too poor to buy oat milk.
All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right. This one is very random, no theme.
Okay.
Darren Criss or Taron Egerton?
Taron Egerton. I'm sorry, Mom.
Taron Egerton.
Oh, it's really hard. I'm gonna go Taron.
Him and Rocket Man was so good.
He's so good in everything.
The Kingsman? I like everything about that movie. I probably shouldn't like it because it's very just like generic. I don't know, in like kind of
A
a
little
cash,
broy.
broy cash grab action movie. I fucking love that movie. So good.
And when he's the gorilla in Sing?
Yeah. He sings Elton John. He sings Elton John in that movie.
That's how he got cast.
Yes, as an animated gorilla, and it's great.
Okay, sorry. Sing or Zootopia?
Zootopia.
Zootopia, I guess.
Zootopia. James Bond or Ethan Hunt?
Who's Ethan Hunt?
Oh, Mission Impossible guy.
James Bond?
James Bond.
Yeah, James Bond. Batman or Spider-Man?
Oh my god, give me a second.
Batman.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Should have just said Tom Holland's name.
I like the other ones too.
Yeah? You like the Andrew Garfield one?
I like Andrew Garfield.
You even like the Tobey Maguire.
I love the Tobey Maguire.
We have to cover that.
That's another one. Every 6 months, I will watch that trilogy in a day.
Well, we're going to have another month where we dedicate it to an entire actor, which is going to be Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, okay, I thought you were about to recommend that it be Tobey Maguire.
No,
like,
absolutely not.
We cannot do that.
No.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe in the first Spider-Man is so good. Green Goblin. Anyways.
Oh, sorry. Captain Marvel or Black Widow?
Captain Marvel.
I don't fucking know. Black Widow.
Blondes or redheads? That's the question.
Jim Carrey or Steve Carell?
Jim Carrey.
I think Steve Carell.
I think Steve Carell, too.
That was hard. That was really difficult.
Ghost or Ghostbusters?
Ghost!
I just started watching it and then didn't finish it the other day. So I'm going to have to say Ghostbusters just because I haven't seen it.
I would say Ghost, too.
Would you say Ghostbusters or Lady Ghostbusters?
Original.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Despicable Me or Monsters, Inc.?
Monsters, Inc.
Monsters, Inc.
Yeah, Monsters, Inc. Million Dollar Baby or Creed?
$1 Million Baby.
$1 Million Baby.
Yeah, $1 Million
I saw that like way too young. Like, like it was playing and my grandpa was watching it. I wandered into his room. It's like, what you watching?
You like didn't quite know what euthanasia was, but $1 Million Baby is not a sports movie. It's a euthanasia movie, and I will die on that hill.
Oh,
It's like 7 years old, and I was like, what's going on?
He's like about to pull the plug. Damn.
Last one, Transformers or Pacific Rim?
Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim.
Yeah, Pacific Rim. Okay, that was it.
Thanks,
I'll
Jen.
go get your coffee.
Aw,
Thank you.
thanks.
Oh, she really is our intern.
If you guys buy our merch, we could maybe afford to pay Jen some pennies. The scraps.
Yeah, we're thinking about
T-shirts!
t-shirts, yeah.
I'm like so jazzed. I don't even care if our net profit is $0. I just want to make all the merch because I like to make things.
You're crafty
Yeah,
one.
I'm like crafty. I don't know.
You make all the pins, which are very small and what I can only assume time consuming.
It's so fun. I just have such a good time. It's just so fun, and I want to make all the merch. So if you guys if you're like, hey, I'm really dying for a coffee mug with your face on it, I'll make it. Just DM us if you have any merch.
Dara's gonna get a kiln and just
I was literally
sculpt the entire thing by hand.
I was looking into like screen printing because you mentioned t-shirts. I was like, it's like $6,000 to get a screen printing machine, and I was like, I don't know, should I do it?
Is that stimmy money?
I could not afford it. That is stimulus check is not $6,000.
No.
I wish.
But yeah, t-shirts, hats, mugs, what do you want? Let us
Yeah.
know. I really just want, it's because I want a t-shirt.
Right?
So I'm like, okay, I guess we could like make them available for other people.
Right, I just like am decked out. My entire house is just like the swamp themed, but it's like there's just one of everything. Like this is the only one. It's just one coffee mug. It's just mine. But yeah, if you guys want merch, let us know. If you want to buy our merch, please do. It's on our website, and it's also on my Etsy, and maybe we can afford to take Jen out for coffee. Or something nice. Honestly, she puts in a lot of work for this podcast. She was mortified that she didn't have a fact sheet ready for me about Moulin Rouge.
No.
She was like, no, she's like, I prepared for the wrong movie. And I was like, it's gonna be okay.
What'd she prepare for? Robots?
I think she prepared for robots and also maybe Star Wars, because we were gonna do it for the 4th, but then I'm gonna have to go to Florida like a helpful son.
That motherfucker.
So Moulin Rouge, they use the word bohemian.
How many times? Should I guess? Do you have a count?
No, I don't, but I'm just gonna explain that I fucking hate that word, and I don't know why. Something about that word rubs me the wrong way.
Interesting.
It's like how a lot of people don't like the word crusty or moist. I don't like the fucking word bohemian.
Thank you, Jen.
You're welcome. They're listening.
Oh, thanks. I also don't like the word Tupperware, so maybe I just am weird, but the word bohemian, every time they said it, I was like...
You skin crawl a little bit?
Ugh. What does that mean? What does that word mean? It just means, I think the dictionary definition is something like you're like artsy and unusual.
Let's get the dictionary definition.
Oh my god, but they're like, we're bohemian revolutionaries. And I'm like, okay, so you're poor.
Yeah.
You're poor and you don't have a job.
You're poor and artsy.
And you're part of an improv troupe. They do zero. All they do
This could have taken place today in New York.
Yeah, right? You're gonna complain about not being able to afford rent in New York City, but yet you have no job. You just do improv. Come on. Then you can call yourself bohemian? Cool.
The dictionary definition is even worse than what it just says: a socially unconventional person, especially one who is involved in the arts.
All people who are involved in the arts are socially... I think it just means poor.
That's not what the dictionary says.
I don't know the word, but like
just call yourself quirky.
But like a modern day bohemian, like the modern definition, I would say of bohemian is like the font papyrus, right? Like the word bohemian in my mind, it's ingrained in the font papyrus, and it's like a woman wearing a floor-length skirt and like a big beach hat, but like she's in the grocery store. She's wearing sunglasses inside.
She's poor, but she only shops at Whole Foods.
No. Yeah, she's not poor. She just wants to dress like she's poor, but spends a lot of money looking like that. That's like the vibe I get from whatever the fuck bohemian means. I don't know. Every time they said it, I was like, pick a better word.
I think that's like it was like the time period specifically. Like,
I guess.
It was like a bohemian. I don't want to say Renaissance. I don't know.
I was kind of surprised to find out that this movie is kind of based in a little bit of truth.
Say more.
Moulin Rouge is a real dance hall in Paris. It is a real location.
Should we go?
It is still preserved, mostly in its like 1900s decor. Are you okay?
Yeah, it was really hot.
Yeah, you can feel it through the mug. What was I saying about the word bohemian that I hated?
Do you know that coffee mugs, the whole thing about them was like, they didn't have handles for a really long time. This is just a fun fact. And like, that was the whole thing, is because you can feel how hot it is, and if you can't touch it and hold it, it's like, okay, you shouldn't drink it.
Oh.
But then, us Western stupid motherfuckers were like...
A handle.
For
my delicate baby hands.
Yeah, so I can burn my mouth.
I feel like, do you ever like see somebody drink coffee that is so much steam is coming off of it that you're like, there's no way that's drinkable, and they just fucking champion it? I'm like, I'm a real pussy. Like, things have to be basically room temp for me to drink them. We have this really fun mug though, where the handle is like a little pocket that goes into the cup, so you can like keep your hands warm.
Those.
Yeah, for us New Englanders, in the winter time.
What were we talking about? The actual Moulin Rouge.
Oh yeah, it is a real building, and it was a real dance hall, and it is like credited as being the place of origin for like the can dance and a lot of that like cultural thing. So it is a real place, and Ziegler is a real guy. He was the owner of the Moulin Rouge during that time, and it burned down in 1915, but then they rebuilt it and they tried to preserve a lot of the same type of decor. But so yeah, obviously Ewan McGregor and Nicole Kidman weren't there.
Looks like a fucking romp.
Right? Yeah, they've got the windmill, and they've got the when they're on the roof and stuff. It seems pretty cool. It's a big tourist attraction.
Nice. Yeah, well, if we ever go on our world tour, we've got one person that really consistently listens in Paris.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
I
would say the actual name of the place, but I'm not gonna put myself on blast.
It doesn't have a lot of accent marks. It's got the one that looks like a carrot.
Yeah, it starts with a C.
Yeah. We also got, so if you're from outside of the U.S., that is so fucking cool. I've barely been outside of America personally. So if you're from outside of America, even if you're from fucking Canada, that's still so cool to me. And somebody in England, in Kent, the city or the town of Kent, England, they ordered a tote bag from us. And it was I had so much fun filling out the customs form at the post office. I was like, this is so exciting. And I was way too excited to be at the post office, but I just wanted to shout out to any of our international listeners. Thanks.
Yeah.
And if you've been to the Moulin Rouge,
tell us about it.
Send us some pics or something, I guess. That sounds like a really fun place. Maybe it's really, I feel like it could be one of those things, though, where they've, like, gentrified it and made it really expensive. That they're like, oh, a cocktail is $17.
I'd fucking buy one,
Yeah, me too. Yeah, right?
Or I'd just put, like, nips under my tits. But...
Yeah, right, when you're, I mean,
I'll call them nips, but I forget that not everyone calls them nips because...
Yes, it's such a
New England thing. So what I'm talking about is, like, the little, tiny little airplane bottles you take, like, with booze.
Yeah, people outside of New England don't call them, or they don't even have them. I went to a liquor store in California, and basically I could find, like, a little flask, you know, those little plastic flasks of, like, Smirnoff or whatever. Like, that was the closest thing to a nip I could find. And I kept saying nips, and everyone was like, what the fuck are you talking about? There are no nipples here! But I guess it's a very New England thing. But if you are underage, which I don't recommend, or if you are just broke, you can hide them in your body parts and sneak them into concerts where a beer is $14. So that's usually the move.
Very strategic, yeah.
Also, if you have a gaping butthole, it really helps to just pop a few up there. Anyways.
Oh my
god. You will get sick. You will get TB and fucking give it to all of your lovers. Like,
unlike Nicole.
She does die at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
She does. Yeah. Spoiler. Oh, I've never considered that maybe, I mean, why would we put a spoiler warning at the beginning? If you haven't seen this movie and you want to watch it, then just maybe don't listen to this podcast and then go watch it and then we come back.
Yeah, this is your formal warning that...
This is after we've talked about the whole plot of the movie.
We're like 47 minutes in and we're like, by the way...
Spoiler alert.
But yeah, no, we will...
this podcast is not spoiler-free.
No, we're here to spoil everything.
Maybe we should put that in, like, our description or something. I think it goes without saying, but you never know.
Yeah, sorry if you really wanted to watch Moulin Rouge and now you're... But
now you got our fucking half-assed...
takes on it.
So, this isn't really... I mean, we were talking about, like, foreign countries and stuff, and my mom had a coworker who was from Denmark, I think, and she said, she was like, you Americans do this thing when you're talking about movies. In Europe, when we are talking about a movie, we say, like, oh, what was it about? But you Americans just list all of the actors who are in it and then start naming other things that those actors have been in.
That's exactly what we do.
So I'm here being like, yeah, Nicole Kidman from Big Little Lies in a wig yet again. Whereas people would be like, oh no, Moulin Rouge is about, and then they would explain the plot of the movie. And then they'd be like, oh, I know that one. Yeah. Whereas we're just like, I think it's probably because we're so about celebrity culture over here where you have to know.
I don't have a lot of skills or talents, but I have a lot of pop culture and movie knowledge.
Human IMDb. I am the most annoying fucking person to watch a movie with. I'll be like, hey, you see that? That's Paul Dano. Let me tell you his entire discography. And also his wife's entire discography. Did you know? That's Steve Carell. This is what he's been in. And I'm like, and everyone's like, we don't fucking care. We're trying to watch a movie.
Are you a person that talks through movies?
A little bit.
Because I definitely am. My mom hates to watch a movie with me.
I think I'm funny. And I think that my thoughts are worth sharing. And sometimes the people around me are like, you are making this unbearable. I think especially if it's a movie that I've seen before and that I know everyone, if it's like a casual viewing, but if it's like we're trying to watch something serious like for the first time, I don't know. Henry is in the habit of he'll pause it and let me talk, which is good because then we don't miss anything. But I think I keep my discussion movie based though. When people start talking about other shit, I'm like, no. We're watching a movie. You have to talk over the movie about the movie. I don't want to hear about stocks. I don't know.
I was gonna say, Henry often bring up the stocks while you're...
My little brother's been really into stocks lately. He has an NFT, which is like...
I don't know what the fuck that is.
It's like a JPEG that costs $1 million. I don't know.
Huh.
It's something, I don't know. He's always like, Derry, you gotta get in on the stocks. And I'm like, I have $6. My little brother's younger than me, too. He's a young stock mogul.
It's like, it's time to invest. We're in a recession.
Henry, for his birthday, I was like, Henry, what do you want for your birthday? And he was like, I want you to open a retirement fund. And it's like one of those ones where you put money in it and then they invest it for you so it can like grow, but you can't access it for like 50 years.
It's smart.
Yeah, I don't know, but Henry made me do it for his birthday. He's like, do you wanna be working until you're 80? And I'm like, I'm gonna be dead by 30. What do you mean? But he's like, this is for us. And I was like, okay. So I took some
Very smart.
Some pocket change.
Yeah, that's
there.
very responsible of...
Yeah, right. He was like, you have to make an adult... Somebody told me once that the most adult thing that they've ever seen me do is that I check the eggs in the grocery store to see if they're cracked before I buy them. That's something
I've never done that.
Really? I don't know. Maybe it's just something that my mom did, and I always saw her do it while we were growing up, so it's just like...
My mom does that.
I don't want to, I don't want to, like, buy cracked eggs, and I don't know, I feel like the grocery stores around here maybe kind of manhandle the eggs a little bit, so I want to make sure, and somebody's like, yeah, that's the most adult thing I have ever seen you do. And I was like, yeah, nice.
I can't think of any adult things that I do. I'm like graduating in like 3 weeks. And it's like...
Yeah, for anyone out there...
I just need to sweep my room.
I guess this will be coming out basically like during people's finals time for the most part. So these next few weeks, if you are a student of any sort and you are doing your finals right now, good luck. Drink.
You got it.
Like, reward yourself. I think that's the most important part about not, like, feeling too burnt out, is that you have to remember to take care of yourself. But not only take care of yourself, but reward yourself for your hard work.
Get a little face mask.
Right, take a nice long shower. Drink some wine in the shower. Do you ever do that? Do you ever drink in the shower? Oh, I love it.
I've got a playlist just for when I have a shower beer.
Oh, yes, it's so good. It's like, I feel so efficient. I'm like, 2 birds, 1 stone.
It's like back in the normal times. It was like before I was going out, like when I'm taking a shower, I'm so efficient.
Yeah.
It's like I'm getting drunk in the shower. This is perfect.
They make like little stands for your wine glass in the shower. I really want one, but also I think that would really aid my bad habits. But I do think that this movie would be really fun to like throw a party, like a Moulin Rouge themed party, like dress really campy and fun, like coming up with like themed cocktails. It's just like very extravagant and over the top, and I think it would be a really fun like theme to do for sure. I would love to get invited to a Moulin Rouge themed party.
Every time we like talk about what you could, I mean, we always assume that someone's like having a viewing, but I think this would probably be like the best party that you could go to out of all of the movies that we've done so far.
Right? It's like, okay, you're gonna go to, I think a Twilight party could maybe be
That's fun. That's really fun. But like James Bond.
Yeah, like, lame.
Yeah.
Play poker. I don't know. This one for sure, I would be so excited. What are some like old-timey 1900s cocktails?
I just already got
gin.
Listen to this.
Oh, okay.
I've already got the cocktail figured out. My giant brain came up with this like right when I was pulling into the driveway, and I audibly gasped because I was like, "This is good." I'm
so ready.
So a French 75 is what I would have. I think it'd be perfect.
You have made one for me, and
we made it when Les Mis.
Yeah, for Les Mis. Yeah, you made me a French 75, and I think you also made a. What was it?
We had something else.
You called it like a French martini or something.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that was, but...
The French 75 was so good, isn't it? It's just gin, champagne, and like lime juice, right?
It's gin, some simple syrup, lemon juice, and then like Prosecco on top.
Yeah, so good.
It's really boozy.
I think I've definitely, like, I directly ripped that off from you. Like, you served that to me at a party, and I was like, holy shit. And then the next time I had people, I was like, try this. Try this out. And they were like, okay. But yeah, I remember really enjoying that. Any like old-timey, for some reason, I just think gin gives me that bohemian vibe, if you will.
Gin's like pretty consistently good. Like, you know, like if you get like cheap tequila, you know it's cheap tequila, and if you get cheap vodka... Oh, but you can kind of get cheap
gin and it always just tastes like pine needles. So
yeah, which I'm fine with. And I love... It's personally one of, I think, probably my favorite alcohol.
Oh, wow. That's a stance. I don't know if I would agree.
I love a good gin and tonic.
Yeah, I am always blown away by how good gin drinks taste, because gin by itself is a little...
Yeah, like I'm not gonna shoot gin.
Yeah, but like, and like tonic water by itself is disgusting, but why? The two of them together, why is it so good? Why? PEMDAS. It just cancels out all the bad flavors. And just
if you put enough lime juice
in it,
and it's fine.
A fuck ton of citrus is the key to any good cocktail, I think. But... yeah, I think like a gin drink. I saw on TikTok pretty recently this girl who like, she looks kind of like she's from
I know exactly who you're talking
20s
about.
And she like makes cocktails.
Yeah, she speaks really fancy.
Yes.
She's got all these really cute little bar necessities.
Right, I'll link this TikTok like somewhere on our social media, because I really want to try this cocktail. It sounds really interesting. She made mint infused simple syrup. So she just made simple syrup, but she threw some mint in there.
I feel like I've seen this.
And then she uses gin, the mint syrup, she juices a fucking bell pepper.
Yes, I saw this.
And then a bunch of citrus juice and something else, and she garnishes with a little bell pepper flour, and she's like, this seems weird, but it wins everyone over, and it's amazing, and I really am intrigued to try it, because a fucking gin bell pepper twist? What?
I feel like it could be, I mean, because she was so confident about it, that of course,
it's gotta be
gotta be good.
Right? So,
but also, like, my palate is non-existent.
Right? I just,
like, she seems really sophisticated. Like, she works at a really fancy kind of bar type
speakeasy.
thing.
It's called you have to know the password, but like also, or just like a $5 bill. I don't know. But I was watching this movie, right? And then my mom made me watch the clip from Glee where Kurt and Blaine sang that song on the rooftop, and it's like emulating Moulin Rouge, and she was like, isn't this beautiful? And I'm like, yeah, but also it's just like, I just watched the movie, so yeah. But I before she even recommended that to me, I had multiple times throughout my notes, Glee, this movie gives me Glee vibes, and here's what
way better.
Like, Ryan Murphy.
Glee wants what this
exactly.
has.
Esteemed television writer, producer, director Ryan Murphy saw this movie in 2001 and thought to himself, but wait, what if they were high schoolers who had a teacher who has no personal boundaries? And, like, all the mashup songs were, like, very Glee to me, and
the mashups were insane.
they were so good. But
I want to know the process of, like, who went through and actually created them, and like what that was like,
and like orchestrated it, because why would you ever think those songs would sound good together? But they do. And it's so good. But so, like, I was like, yeah, this seems like the thing that sparks the love of mashups for Glee. And then also, I don't know if they're fucking, but they're having a erotically charged moment between Nicole Kidman and the Duke. And she's, like, pretending or whatever, but she, like, keeps coughing into a rag to just signify that her end is really near. And so they're, like, fucking, but she's, like, coughing into a rag. And, like, her TB coughs, like, sync up with Roxanne, which is happening, which really gave me Quinn Fabray giving birth to Bohemian Rhapsody in Glee vibes. And there's that word again, Bohemian.
You can't escape it.
But those were my two Glee thoughts while I was watching this movie. Nice. But this movie obviously did it better. Yeah, of course. I mean, Rachel Berry could never do what Nicole Kidman did.
Leah Michelle wishes.
Right.
So, fuck, marry, kill?
Oh my god, it's so hard because everyone in this movie is so hot.
Should we go with, I would say, well, it's hard because there's like a main two. Yeah. And we usually start with like,
I don't want to, I'm
not going to put the Duke in there because that's
easy. We're just going to kill him. While I was watching this though, I was thinking, I'm like, if I was Nicole Kidman, I would just be a little smarter about this. And you go with the Duke, and you take the money that he's giving you, and you fund your little side relationship with Ewan McGregor. Yeah. You can have money and true love if you're willing to play the game.
Yeah, she doesn't know how to hustle.
He was kind of a pussy about it, though. It's like guys who are like, I would never date a girl who has an OnlyFans. Like, I'm like, okay, first of all, nobody asked you. Yeah. But second of all, like, he's like, I just don't like that you're gonna sleep with the Duke 3 weeks from now for this play that I wrote that he's producing so I can live my fucking bohemian dream, whatever. And she's like, and she just kind of pushes the question to the side a lot, but I'm like, Ewan,
you gotta give a little.
Take a step back and just look at the situation you're in. If she has to sleep with him literally once for you to have this, like, fun
the
adventure,
life you want,
right? Yeah. Like, who cares? She could be like, yeah, I won't even. So the whole thing, though, is that she tells him that it was fake the whole time. She's like, I just pretended to make you love me, or whatever.
It's my job.
Yeah, to be a pretender, to fake orgasms to Elton John. And he really takes that to heart, and then he was like, tell me it was never real, and it was, it's very intense.
That scene where he, like, is on stage and, like, throws money at her and calls her a whore.
Oh, I was like, in that moment, I was anti-Christian. Yeah. I was like, I'm like, you don't have to be that guy.
Yeah.
but it was great. And if I was in that audience, I liked that the audience was thinking that this was like a rehearsed part of the show. Oh my god, because that was the ending that he wanted. And then when he says, she doesn't love you. Yeah. But it's like, he's like, oh, just kidding, it's about the play. Yeah. Oh my god, that scene was really great too. Ewan McGregor does a great job. Yeah, this movie is tense. This is a tense love triangle. It's not even a love triangle, it's like a rhombus. Because capitalism is the...
Yeah. Should we just...
I don't know, like, I'm trying to think of a third character, because obviously we're both just gonna murder whoever the third person is, right?
Yeah.
I don't want TB.
Okay.
I don't want to get tuberculosis. And I don't have enough money to afford the grand jewel of the Moulin Rouge. I cannot entertain a courgette.
I really don't think that's the word they use.
It starts with a C. I don't know.
What about, the guys from the troupe? The guys from the improv theater troupe.
All I remember is the guy with the sideburns who plays Ewan McGregor in the play. Yeah. He plays the penniless sitar player.
And there's the guy that was not actually short, but just on his knees for the entire time.
Like fake. Yeah, I mean, we're just gonna end up having to murder whoever that is because I'm obviously gonna marry Ewan McGregor.
No, I mean, like, strictly from that troupe.
I don't even remember what... Can we add Ziedler? So it's Ziedler, the sideburn guy, and the short guy.
Yeah.
So I guess I will marry Ziedler because he is a property owner. And that seems like a fun place to be around.
Yeah, he can provide for you.
I guess I'll fuck the sideburns guy because he sang Roxanne real good.
Yeah.
And I'll murder.
That gravelly voice.
Oh, so good. But that song was also, like, about demeaning sex workers, kind of.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, yeah,
It's like I knew I couldn't read too far into it, so I was just kind of like, this sounds...
I'll enjoy it on a surface level and not give it any more thought. Courtesan. That's the words they use. Courtesan. Satine. Yeah. I like courgette better. the three people from the troupe. And I think, Ziegler, I guess.
Yeah, I gotta... You picked the right... Yeah, the right setup.
And then I think maybe from the whole movie... Like, it's tough because I love Ewan McGregor and I want to be here for him and support him. And he believes in true love and he's willing to risk it all. But yeah, I guess I'll marry him because even though he has his low points during the film, when he has that beard and he is furiously click-clacking away on that typewriter, oh my goodness, I'm like, yes. I would let him do his work and I would bring him coffee and give him a nice shoulder rub.
Yeah.
Even though I still, like, don't entirely understand, like, his parents are wealthy, but he decides to run away to be a writer, and he's, like, choosing to be poor. But then, like, money is, like, basically at the center of all the problems of the whole movie. And I'm like, you kind of put this on yourself, bro. That's the definition of a true bohemian. Somebody who, like, chooses to be poor, but then complains about it, maybe. I don't know. So
you're marrying Ewan.
I'm gonna marry Ewan. I guess I have to kill the Duke. Like, fuck that guy. And then I will... Can I also fuck Ewan McGregor? No, because we're married. We'll fuck every night. I'll fuck... I don't want TB. Here's the thing is, Nicole Kidman is beautiful in that dress. I want us to wear those matching dresses, but I don't want TB. Yeah. So, maybe... the other courgette with the baby bangs?
Oh, she was such a bitch.
Yeah, she was a bitch. Fuck. Maybe I'll fuck the Duke and then I'll kill him. I'll take that necklace. He'll let me wear that necklace, and then I murder him, and then I run away with the necklace. That's my plan.
I think I'm gonna have to. Okay, I'm marrying Ewan because that's the obvious thing to do. Yeah, so I'm gonna marry Ewan. I've thought about this a lot.
Okay.
I'm gonna fuck. I think his name in it was Le Chocolat or something like that. He's the guy that firstly caught Nicole Kidman when she fell. And is also the one that came to the rescue in that really uncomfortable rapey scene with the Duke.
I was trying to read into if he was like gay coded because he is kind of dressed more feminine than the other, because all the men at the Moulin Rouge are wearing like top hats and suits, but he's dressed like somewhere in between the can-can dancers, and he's also, I think, maybe the only person of color like in the whole movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
He was sexy though.
Yeah,
I agree.
If no one's got me, he's got me.
That's why when
caught Nicole Kidman dropped like 30 feet out of the air, and he caught her like
no problem.
like he was rescuing a kitten from a tree type thing. And I'm gonna kill Nicole Kidman.
Okay.
Just because.
Whoa. Because she's gonna die already. Put her out of her misery.
Exactly. It would save you and a lot of heartbreak.
Right.
It would save a lot of people, honestly, from the transmission of TB. And then also I would, because she was dead, I would just take that dress.
Yeah. Oh, right. I know that you can't think too hard about little details in movies, because then you're gonna ruin it for yourself, right? Mm-hmm. But in the scene where Ewan McGregor says, Nicole Kidman, let's run away. Yeah. Let's get away from all of this. We have our love for each other, and that is what is so important. So let's just get out of here. And she was like, I have TB, but I'll do it. And so she goes into her dressing room, and what does she have to pack? Handfuls of jewelry that she's shoving into little velvet pouches. Just jewels. Just as if she's a fucking pirate with coins and jewels, and she's just putting them into these little pouches to run away with.
Yeah. But she's poor.
She's poor! But she has to be a sex worker in order to keep herself off the streets.
Yeah.
Where are all these fine jewels coming from, Nicole?
Did you see? They were all flinging them at her while she was singing Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend.
Right.
She had bags full. She was handing it off to Ziedler. And she's like, I'm so broke.
Right.
She's like that friend that like asks you to like buy them a coffee.
Oh, or
like I forgot my wallet. Can you get this? And then they never Venmo you.
Or someone who's like, can I Venmo request you $1.50 for gas because I drove? And you're like, oh my god, fine. I mean, it's okay to be stingy, but I'm very much here for like the barter method. Yeah. Of like, it's like you
got
get me, I got you. You know,
it just all evens out in the end.
Because it like. My friend Kevin and I just pass the same $10 bill back and forth every time we get food. Nice. And so it's just like a joke at this point, like, whose wallet is the 10 in? I just, like... At some point, you just have to accept that it's just easier to not care. But I've never been severely poor, you know? Like, I've never been, like, sell my body to the streets for a... It couldn't have been...
nickel.
It couldn't have been real jewels, then. It had to be, like, what is it? Crystal zirconium?
Like cubic zirconium,
zirconium, yeah. Some fake ass Claire's type shit. Some piercing pagoda knockoff garbage. There are a lot of hot people in this movie. Ewan McGregor, I think he is always really great. And this movie, I don't know, did this come out before or after Attack of the Clones? Because it's 2001, right? So
I think I think it's the same year.
Yeah, I don't know. So this is a great year for him.
Yeah.
2002. So
nice.
So this came out first, and then I think this is really peak Ewan McGregor era.
Yeah.
For me,
he looked very different in both movies. Like,
but he always has that little cheek freckle. He's got that little.
It's on his forehead.
No, it's on his cheek.
What are you talking about? That little mole he's got?
Yeah, he has a freckle on his cheek.
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Am I crazy? No, I'm not. I'm not crazy.
About? Oh, that.
That's the freckle on his cheek.
Hey, sorry, I just never noticed his cheek freckle.
Well, I guess he does kind of have a mole on his forehead too, though. It's a very textured face, but honestly, as such a vanilla ass generic looking white man, this is like you made an AI look at pictures of like the top billing actors from 2003,
and this is what
they came up with. He is by no means anything special visually. No. But I am charmed. I am charmed by Ewan McGregor, especially when he got that facial hair too. Yeah. When he was like in the wife beater, like
I know,
he was kind of dirty.
Yeah, like hungover because all he does is drink now.
Because Nicole Kidman is dead. Did you know in the original script of this movie, it was that they had a kid together.
Interesting.
And that it was all him telling the kid, and it was like in flashbacks, like the kid was like 3 or something, and like he's like telling the kid the story of how they met, but like obviously she's dead now because of the TB.
Yeah.
But they would have had to have been together for quite a longer time than this movie permits.
Yeah, no, it just wouldn't work.
They would have had to fuck day one, and then like a whole year would have to pass. Whereas I feel like the time frame of this movie is maybe 3 days.
It definitely wasn't 3 days. It was like at least a month.
Okay, yeah. 2 months.
Yeah. You know how long it takes to put on a production?
They seemed to just have it down, though. They were like, oh yeah, we can change the whole ending. And I'm like, that seems like a lot. Seems like a lot of work. What about a snack?
Oh, I forgot.
I don't know. Like, they don't really eat a lot in this movie. And I don't really know what they ate in 1900s in France. I guess you could do like French theme and you could have snails or a croissant. Maybe a nice little...
Get yourself a baguette?
A baguette with some brie.
We always come back around to a cheese board.
Yeah, I know, right? I made a pizza, and I was by myself in my house, and I was gonna drink wine out of the bottle, because I felt like that was the vibe, which I was definitely right, but then I was like, I'm gonna spill, because I'm a spiller. Yeah. So I got a cup, but I made a flatbread, like a pizza flatbread,
Ooh.
and it was like peppers and onions and fucking bacon. You did everything in bacon fat, as you do. Nice. And like, yeah, it was all right. My parents were on their anniversary dinner, and they went to like a fancy restaurant, so my mom was sending me pictures of like the really fancy calamari and duck wings that they were eating. I was like half drunk, like eating pizza by myself, watching Moulin Rouge, and I was like, yeah, nice.
This is where I'm at.
Nice. And
I don't have much.
What would you follow this up with? Would you pick another musical?
Yes. Just because I feel like you need something that matches the vibe. And personally, I feel like this is the only other musical that really catches the same vibe. It's Mamma Mia. I was
like jukebox musical. Mia. They're like doing songs that are already popularized, like not original for the movie, but somehow just like fit so perfect. Yeah, I would say that
Mamma Mia is one of those ones that like everyone kind of knows too. Yeah. So if you're gonna do a double feature, I think that'd be a good one.
Yeah, Mamma Mia is a really fun one. I would also say like Hairspray.
I was gonna say Hairspray.
Hairspray is a really good one. I love John Travolta in a wig. The theme is not musicals. The theme is wigs.
Yeah.
Nicole Kidman in a wig.
I'm trying to think if there was wigs in Mamma Mia.
Maybe extensions.
Probably. Mamma Mia is probably the movie that I've seen the most ever.
Yeah, I like that for you. Your family is very much like your mom and your sister and you. That's like your thing, right? It's that you love Mamma Mia.
Yeah, no.
I embarrassingly, but will say with confidence that mine is National Treasure.
That's a good one. That's a good one to...
I had it downloaded on my little green iPod Nano, and I would like... in like, fourth grade or whatever, I'd like hide under the covers and watch it every night because it was the only like piece of media, available to me other than like a book light or whatever, and so I think I would watch National Treasure like at least 3 times a week for maybe like 6 years.
Mamma Mia is just one of those ones that it's literally on all the time.
And you can start it at
channel.
any point.
Exactly.
If you've missed the first half, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's fine.
As long as you've seen it before.
I could probably, like, those people that can, like, recite whole movies?
Yeah,
like,
I could do that with National Treasure.
I could do that with Mamma Mia, for sure. Alyssa and I have a pact that whoever gets married first, the wedding scene, or the reception scene? Alyssa's my sister. I keep telling, like, no one has any idea who she is. I'm like, Alyssa.
Yeah. And Emily has a twin.
Yeah, that should have been my fun fact to start the podcast off with.
I feel like we reveal very little personal information about ourselves
every time.
Like formally, we're not going to be like, let me tell you a little bit about myself. Yeah. But in bits and pieces, you will know my full medical history by the end of like episode 5 of this podcast.
But yeah, no, Alyssa and I have a pact that whoever gets married first, the other one has to perform Take a Chance on Me, like they do at the reception.
Good. That's really good.
Yeah, I'm scared. I don't know if I would rather have it at my wedding or be the one to sing it, but I feel like I want to be walking on the tables like Rosie, chasing Stellan Skarsgård.
I would like to have my wedding be Shrek themed, where I like a big RuPaul's Drag Race reveal happens where I like turn into an ogress. I would love that, and a huge mechanical puppet, huge dragon comes in from somewhere.
We can make this happen.
I would like that. It seems a bit expensive though. Yeah, but a Shrek themed wedding I think would be a lot of fun. What would you rate this movie? I'd give it a 6.5.
I was gonna say, yeah, I'd say like 6.5. I didn't like it the first time I watched it, really. It was a lot. It was a little overstimulating.
Yeah.
But upon rewatching it, I really enjoyed it.
I started off the movie sober, and then I drank a lot of wine very fast throughout it, so I was pretty drunk by the end. And I think that the jarring experience of this movie starting while I was sober, and then by the end when I was drunk, it all felt very much the same.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I was like, yeah, like, this is maybe, like...
You were in the right headspace.
Yeah, right? Like, getting drunk while it happened fit. But...
I was drunk from start to finish.
Yeah, too much.
Me and my roommate went and got a pitcher of margaritas. Like 2 hours before.
I had margarita night pretty recently. It was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that this movie only had like 2.5 stars or whatever from you on Letterboxd, and I was like, I'm interested because you were very much like, we gotta do Moulin Rouge for Ewan MAYgregor, and I was like, yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun, and I was like, but do you even like this movie?
I've come around to it.
Yeah, it certainly is a lot, and I definitely think you have to be in the right mood, and also if it's just not your thing, like, I can get down for some clownery like this, but if you're not the type of person who like this would appeal to you, I could see how this movie would be very like, what is the plot line? What are these characters? Like, I don't give a shit. Like, but you just gotta push all that aside because it's so fun. Yeah,
like, I remember watching this for the first time with my mom, and she left like 20 minutes in. I was like, that's fair. It's not for you. You have to be a very specific person to like this movie, that's for sure.
We've gotten so many nice messages and DMs. Literally, I kid you not that I like well up emotionally. Like, it happens almost every day for me, so it's bound to happen one way or the other.
A lot of people have told us that it's just like when they listen to our podcast, it's like sitting down with like two friends.
Oh my god!
You said it to me. You're like, that's my favorite thing to hear.
Yes,
and that's probably.
I want to be everyone's bestie. Like let's all just hang out.
You guys just text me,
right?
Should we start? Should we start a group chat?
That would get overwhelming very fast. We also got a really nice email from someone.
Yeah, our first email,
and I said,
Lena, that was so sweet.
A few weeks ago, I was like, I will read verbatim what the email says, no matter what it says. And
I was ready for someone to like send something really
like
nasty
slurs.
in.
Yeah, right. That's like where my mind went. But I'm not gonna read the whole thing because it was pretty long. But their subject line to the email was 10 out of 10, good job, nice, way to go. And I really liked that. And they said that they found us on TikTok, which I think a lot of people have. They requested that we do Minari, which I had just watched that day with my mom, which was like nice. And then a huge shout out to the 2 people who bought merch, or three people who bought merch. One of them was a person I know in real life who I like bullied. But,
my roommates bought merch.
But like,
I forced them to buy merch.
Formally through our website, someone from Ohio and someone from the UK. So that's like so fucking cool. And the 18 people who have given us 5 stars on iTunes.
I know, that's really sexy of you.
Right? I'm not gonna bully anyone into doing it, but if you want to go give us 5 stars on iTunes, that would be really cool. And literally anyone who comments on our Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, just like it's awesome. I love being engaged with. And I like episode 3, I made a note to say this, and then I've forgotten every week since, but huge shout out to my brother-in-law, Sam, who made our intro music. Yes. Originally, we were just gonna put the quote from Shrek, like, what were you doing in my swamp? But then we were afraid about, like, getting flagged for copyright, so I had Sam.
Yeah, we would have paid a lot of money to, like,
royalties. But, he made our little ditty song at the beginning for us, and it's so much fun. It makes me feel very official, so thank you, Sam. He probably doesn't listen to this, but everyone, Sam's really cool and did us a huge favor. So that's it. That was kind of messy at the end there, but I did just want to thank everyone.
We really appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Can't believe you actually listen to us.
We do literally every time somebody writes in with a movie request, we put it down. Like, don't think that it's just getting lost in the void.
We've got a big list.
I literally put your name, like if it was from Instagram, Twitter, whatever, in the movie. But yeah, thanks for listening. Stick around for Ewan MAYgregor this month.
Next week we're doing robots.
Robots! What is it? The best thing is to learn to love and be loved in return? What a sweet quote. What a great quote. Let's end on that. Let's end on a high note. 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 Let's end on a high note.